Hey guys, how's it going? Comparing here. Today I want to talk about all the cool Ogre cards that were introduced in the GvG expansion, and I have talked about at least one of them in the past, a few of them here and there, but it's basically primarily the ones that have the 50% chance to miss, like the Ogre Warmaul, which you see here. This effect shows up on a few cards. It's a very interesting effect, and usually the cards that have this effect are better than average because of their reliability problems. Now, when it comes to this Ogre Warmaul, I won't spend too much time on this. I reviewed this card in the worst 5 cards released in GvG video. You guys can check that out at the end of the video here if you want some more details. But basically, it's a piece of crap because when you play it on turn 3, most creatures played up to that point don't even have 4 health. Later on, attacking the wrong thing can cost you the game. If you play it to try to kill like a 2-drop and it hits face again on the following turn you try to attack with it, you basically did nothing on your 3rd turn. You're going to get out-tempoed. You're a warrior. You're a shitty class anyway, unless you're playing Control Warrior, and you'd never play this in Control Warrior. So basically, this card is as poopy as it gets. Well, not quite, but it's very close. The other cards, however, the creatures, here we have the Ogre Brute. They start to get pretty good, like 3 mana 4/4. This is extremely high stats. There's no other card that really matches up to the stats for this mana cost except for like Ancient Watcher, stuff that doesn't really count, and like the really odd stuff. And this card is also available to all the classes. We have seen some play of this in Constructed. We've seen it in Control Warlock. In Handlock, that is, because you can taunt them up, and when they're taunted, they're pretty good. But from my experience, one thing I've really noticed is when I'm playing Arena, yeah, it's really good on turn 3. Sometimes it's not really the greatest thing because if they play like a 3/2 creature and it's a mage, it's just going to get pinged down anyway. But, even in that case, it's pretty good. But when it comes down, even to the mid-game, especially in the late game, when you're dealing with like Yetis and like 5/5 creatures, 6/6 creatures, when you have the 4/4, you actually often don't want to attack because you can't risk losing it. So it's not very good in the mid to late game, and that's something that people really ignore. And this is mostly a problem specifically for the Ogre Brute, because while 4/4 is it's quite a lot of stats for 3 mana, the other ogres are much bigger, and they don't really have this problem. So, just imagine the case where, yeah, you need a creature maybe for another turn if you want to buff it, if you're kind of going back and forth. You don't want to waste your 4/4. You don't want him when you're going for face or you want to attack a 2/2 creature. You don't want him to accidentally go after like a 6/6 and kill himself. So, that's the main issue with this guy. And because of that, when I play Arena, I usually, instead of picking this guy, I would rather have like a spider tank. Yeah, it's 1 less attack, but, it's a mech, it's got that thing, and the reliability kind of, for me, at least is worth that 1 attack. But the Ogre Brute does have a spectacular feature, and that is his oops sound. So all these little ogre dudes, whenever they fuck it up and attack the wrong thing, they have a different sound animation that plays. So, you're playing the game, you tell your genius of an Ogre Brute to attack something, and, well,
wait, who?
he forgets. So there's that. The next ogre on the list, we have the Ogre Ninja. This is the rogue-only card, and it's a little bit of a letdown that it's rogue-only because I don't really see that much of a purpose to it. Yeah, I get it's stealthy and that kind of shit. It's 6/6 for 5 and it's stealth. It's kind of has that Ogre Brute thing where it's a little bit overvalued for stats. So, the really good vanilla stats for a 5-mana card would be like 5 attack, 6 health. So it's got just a little bit. It's got like +1 attack because he misses. And this one also has the stealth, and that's basically valued in because it's a class card. So if it was a neutral card, maybe it would be a little bit worse. But 6/6 is pretty good. It doesn't really suffer from the penalty that I mentioned that the Ogre Brute has, because usually 6/6 is going to be the biggest creature on the board. If there is a bigger creature, well, 1, you can just keep it stealthed, or 2, you often have hard removal if you're playing Arena, and if you're playing Constructed, this is probably going to be the biggest creature outside of Legendaries. So because of that, he can usually get attack, and he's more reliable. When it comes to the actual value of a card when you're playing Arena or playing Constructed, this is genuinely a good card. It's just that a lot of other cards have more synergies, have more OP combos, and this is just kind of like a Brute, not an Ogre Brute, just smashy, don't really do any special kind of stuff, just good stats for a decent amount of mana. Comparably, this card is very similar to a Stranglethorn Tiger. Stranglethorn Tiger is 5 for 5/5 stealth. Very similar cards, but Stranglethorn Tiger is available to all the classes, and it's a beast. So, yeah, it's pretty close, really. Like, a hunter would obviously rather have a Stranglethorn Tiger. And when I was playing Arena, very frequently when I'd play Rogue, because Stranglethorn Tiger is actually a great card in Arena, I'd come to the situation where I would have Ogre Ninja and Stranglethorn Tiger in my hand at the same time. And very frequently, I would actually choose to play the Stranglethorn Tiger because it would be a back and forth game where if I played the Ogre Ninja, my opponent played a creature and my Ogre Ninja would miss, I might actually lose the game. So because in Arena it's very frequently like a grindy creature off type of thing, the Ogre Ninja can actually, and I'd say that possibly in most situations, though just marginally in most situations, would actually be worse than a Stranglethorn Tiger. So it's not really the greatest of ogres, but it's still pretty good. The only disappointment, as I mentioned, is that it's kind of a rogue card. I think it'll be kind of a cool card for all the other classes. And then we have the legendary of the bunch, the leader of the pack, the Mogar the Ogre, who gives the 50% chance to hit the wrong target to all the creatures on the board. This is a very interesting card. We've seen some players play this in handlock because with all the chaos that goes on, you basically have like taunty damage because you have big creatures. It kind of works against decks that have a lot of small creatures because for a lot of small creatures, you're usually playing the zoo idea. And with the zoo idea, you either gang up on big creatures or go all-out face. So if all you have are big creatures and you play Mogar and you're against a lot of small creatures, the small creatures, like, you know, two of them are going to run into an 8/8, one's going to run into Mogar, and one's going to hit face, and they're basically going to accomplish absolutely nothing. So that's the strength of the card. I've played it in a lot of other decks, and it's basically just a piece of shit Boulder Fist Ogre. So Boulder Fist Ogre is basically the rocket scientist, which came out before GvG, and I would say that in most cases, especially when you're playing like Arena, Boulder Fist Ogre is probably just better. In Constructed, Boulder Fist Ogre avoids the big game hunter, so, you know, Mogar is a little bit kind of crappy, but he still has his place. Some decks still run him competitively, and I have to argue that they're doing so rightfully. All the Ogre cards are pretty damn awesome. I do enjoy playing with them a lot. The only thing that I really have to say is from when GvG was launched, I had higher hopes for Mogar, I had higher hopes for Ogre Brute. Ogre Brute has that problem where it's big, but it's not big enough, and Mogar just kind of gets countered a lot of the time, but they're still pretty cool and pretty good. Now, one feature that I didn't mention specifically in this video is that sometimes when you're attacking something and you attack the wrong thing accidentally, it can have some ridiculous outcomes. So you can use this mechanic to bypass a taunt creature. Let's say your opponent only has one creature, it's a taunt, and you need to go face. You know, half the time you're going to avoid the taunt and go face when you're attacking with the Ogre. So the mechanic has some positive outcomes to it because of that, and sometimes they have pretty spectacular consequences. So I wanted to highlight the Ogre mechanic with probably the most outrageous game I've had in months. And yeah, Hearthstone's a great game, guys. Enjoy the video. You don't want to see me when I'm napping. Maybe if I nap and we get like a Moz to cast the nap. Maybe that'd be pretty sweet.
I fight.
Now we are good with anything except Water Elemental. I'm gonna go for it.
Is my shield.
Sunwalker makes Flame Strike pretty shitty. He needs an MC tech. Roleplay, my hero takes damage. Not much to roleplay this game then.
Time runs out on me.
What? You have to be shitting me. Alright.
Sorry.
Justice has been served. That's your fucking justice right there. Oh shit. No, those don't have charge. No! I'm retarded. I'm retarded. Okay. It's fine. I'll probably just get flame striked. Alright. Oh god. What the fuck? I'm not ready for this. I'm tired right now. I don't want to deal with that shit. Do you guys know what the hell just happened? It's like lightning struck down. Yeah, it's time to quit Hearthstone forever, guys.
My magic will tear you apart.
Yeah, it's like Flame Strike now. No, it's okay. It's okay. My Ogre brute has been watching the whole time. That genius has been paying attention to what's going on. He'll just swing over all the creatures the opponent will play after Flame Strike here. Oh my fucking god. Yeah, for some reason, because I'm like really sleepy and shit, I thought the 1/1s would pop out and be able to attack. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's so retarded. So fucking retarded. I don't even know. I don't even fucking have any idea what's going on right now.
My magic will tear you apart.
Mind if I roll knee?
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
Okay, I mean we probably still win. We have 2 weapons, a charger that does 2 damage, a crackle, a rock biter. Alright. Alright, Mr. Mage. I don't know why I played the Flame Tongue Totem. I'm retarded. Polymorph. Okay. Okay, I guess we'll bank on no second Flame Strike then. Alright. Oh, God. Yeah, bro, that's an Ogre. You better be fucking terrified.
What to do? What to do?
Does he really have another Flame
We
Strike?
must cleanse
No.
the Sunwell.
Okay. Oh, he still might. This Flame Strike's 7 mana. Well, if he's like out of like removal and shit, it's still a pretty good situation, I guess. My Ogre's been learning, man. That's no dumb Ogre.
Runs out on me.
For a little while, I take a big punch.
Oh shit, dude. That ogre's gonna have to smarten up pretty quick. Holy fuck. Okay, that'll do. Alright. We're gonna put you to the test, Mr. Ogre. You know what, bro? That's good enough. That's good enough, bro. Lucky 7. That game should have been over like 5 minutes ago. I don't know if you guys really understood what just happened. I had 4 creatures. His ogre attacked my Sunwalker with a divine shield up. It procced the 50-50. It then chose 1 of 4 the other targets. Okay? So it's 50-50, then 25%, and it killed the Shredder. And the Shredder dropped the Doomsayer, which is like 1%. And then suddenly he had a chance in that game. So what is that? 12 times 1. That's 0.1%. That's 1 in 1,000. Okay. That's a good way to start off the day, I guess.